So one of the things we do in an eye tracking experiment is in the data section of our experiment settings, we make sure to save the HDF5 file from our eye tracking experiment. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what one of those HDF5 files might look like and the basics of how you can pick it apart. I'm also going to include some supplementary scripts and information in the description to this video, so do take a look at those. As always, please do comment, like and subscribe if you like our channel, and let us know if there's any more content that you would like us to create. So when you've run an eye tracking experiment and you have selected Save HDF5, when you look in the data folder of your experiment, you should see not only the files from your experiment, but also this HDF5 file. So that's going to be what we inspect today. As a first place for checking out that HDF5 file, I actually recommend this browser-based application where you can literally just drag and drop that HDF5 file to get started looking at what it holds. What treasures does this file hold? A HDF5 file basically has a hierarchical data structure. And in there, you can see you can open up this data collection section. And in there, you have a number of events that are stored, time-stamped events from your experiment. So you have both experiment level events, eye tracker events, and a whole bunch of other events. We are only going to focus on eye tracker and experiment today. So to get us started, let's look at the experiment level events. And in here we have log events and message events. I'll guide us first of all towards the message events section and zoom out so that we can have a look here. There are quite a lot of columns in this section, but the main ones to take a look at is there is a column called time, which is just cumulative time since the beginning of your experiment. And at the very, very end here, we have a text column that has some text that is logged detailing what was happening at that point in time. Now, to begin with, we actually see some default messages such as begin sequence, target position, expand size, followed by contract size. These are actually, this is information about that calibration target at the start of your experiment. So this has the logged time of the calibration target as it was undergoing its animation. So this is all useful information, but you might also want to log custom event markers to your HDF5 file. For example, for marking the beginning and end of a trial, or when a certain image was on screen. So in order to do that, you can go to your builder file, and we do want a custom code snippet. However, this custom code snippet is literally one line of Python code. I will share the materials for this in the chat, not in the chat, in the description of this video. You essentially want though ioserver.sendMessage, and in here you can say what text do you want to be saved in the message event of your HDF5 file. Here I've got trial start in the begin routine, and in the end routine I send another one that says trial end. You can provide a category for those markers, and for both of those markers I have said these are custom event markers. So to go back to my HDF5 file, if I actually scroll all the way to the bottom here, I can see that the last two events that were marked in my data file were the trial start and the trial end. I actually only have one trial in this experiment, so that is exactly what I expect. So now you know how you can mark custom event markers in your HDF5 file, but where do you find the actual eye tracker data? Well, you might have guessed those events fall not under the experiment level, but under the eye tracker level. So there's quite a few different events that can be saved from your eye tracker. The type of data saved might also depend on the eye tracker you are using. I ran this experiment just with mouse gaze, so I currently have monocular eye sample events. When I run this with my actual eye tracker plugged in, I see a section called binocular eye sample events, just meaning that I get X and Y coordinates individually for the left and the right eye. Whereas here, I'm only going to have gaze for the one gaze point. If I scroll along here, I can see there is a column gaze X and gaze Y, for example, that gives the coordinates of that eye sample event in the units of my experiment. And conveniently, this section also has the column time, so I can also see the time at which those eye sample events took place. So in terms of automating the extraction of these eye sample events, where were participants looking in each trial? I probably want some kind of a script, and there's a number of different variants that you could use for this. But in short, in this script, I'm going to feed in a specific HDF5 file, which is this HDF5 file I have in the current script location. I could then say, what do I want as the trial marker, start marker and end marker? And I could use trial start and trial end, which will just quite simply show the look towards that region of interest I've got. I've actually updated this script to use begin sequence 3 and done sequence 3. What that shows is where I was looking during that validation phase. What this script does is it not only extracts the gaze coordinates from between the two timestamps marked by these markers, but it also provides me a nice little animation of what was happening in that time. So I'll just run this to demonstrate what that would look like. You can see here that I've got a point here indicating the gaze location at that point in time. So this is a very quick primer on getting started looking at your HDF5 files. Hopefully you find it useful. Let us know if you've got any further questions. But otherwise, good luck with your eye tracking experiments. I hope you found this useful.